So adequate notice of this meeting has been advertised in accordance with the New Jersey Open Public Meetings Act and is publicly accessible in accordance with law. Roll call, please.
Sure. Rocco Solitano,
Here.
David Cittadino, Dr. George.
Here.
Sarah Marino.
Here.
Maria Novak,
Here.
Rosemary Rivoli,
Here.
Zainab Syed, Gina Talamo, Martha Trapiano.
Hi.
That's what, oh, yeah.
I'm being here, don't worry.
Mayor Walker and Frank Weber. Frank Weber.
Yeah, I'm wondering about the mayor.
All right, the mayor's kind of here already. The mayor's designated here.
Yeah, okay.
Slips of tongue. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So starting with reorganization. Rather than parrot back to me, that is a notebook and not a Bible, correct?
Oh, this is enough.
Here you are.
That would have been impressive.
Right hand up, left hand on the Bible, and you can just read that at your leisure rather than have to repeat.
I, Gina Twomwood, do solemnly swear to affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of New Jersey, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same, and to the governments established in the United States and in the state, under the authority of the people, and that I will faithfully, impartially, and justly perform all duties of my position of the Old Bridge Township, my rank board trustee, to the best of my ability, so help me God.
Congratulations.
You're welcome.
Sign all three of those, please.
Do you want me to take the one back to Kate?
Yes, please. Or actually, Linda, is that good with you?
Oh, you want to go with it?
Let me
Well,
take
one
that.
goes, yeah, one goes to you,
Yes.
one goes to her.
Well, I feel that you've got
If you want,
Yeah, yeah.
okay.
In case anybody.
Let me sign three, I'll give you one back.
Yeah, I didn't do
You
last
probably
year.
saw us.
I can't, and that's where I got.
Everybody goes to an Italian, I can go, I said, "Can't shoot."
So you're okay with me giving one to Rosemary to take back, and then this stays at the library?
Yes.
This goes to you.
Thank you.
This goes to you.
Give me back my Bible if you would.
Yes, I do.
around in your car?
This time of year, yes, I do. I always started getting struck by lightning. Lawyers with Bibles. Reorganization. At this point, we need to elect your 4 officers. It is not on the agenda, but reorganization is, and your bylaws call for this and require it. It requires a majority vote of the full membership of the board. We have 8 members here now. We had 7 in the recent, now we have 8. And so it requires 5 votes for any officer. You have 3 total, that's just us.
Okay, sorry.
So we will start with the nominations for the office of president. Does anyone care to nominate anybody for president?
I'd like to nominate Sarah.
Anyone care to second that?
I'll second.
Like to nominate Frank Weber.
Anyone care to second Mr. Weber's nomination?
I'll second it.
Any other nominations? All right, on the nomination of Sarah Marino, Linda, can you please do a roll call?
Sure. Rocco,
Yes.
Dr. George,
No.
Sarah,
Yes.
Maria,
No.
Rosemary,
Yes.
Zainab Syed, Frank Weber,
No.
and Gina.
Yes.
Okay.
Maddie.
Oh, Maddie, yes.
All right, we have a president. Now, Jean,
Okay.
So
Like to
we
say
need,
anything?
yes, we need nominations for vice president.
Okay. So we're gonna call nomination for vice president.
I'd like to nominate Frank Weber.
I'll second it.
Who's gonna make Davidson, do you know?
Anyone care to nominate, that's who second the nomination of Dave?
I'll second it.
Any other nominations?
Oh, any other nominations? Sorry.
All right, roll call.
Okay, Rocco?
This is on Mr. Weber for VP.
Rocco?
No.
Dr. George?
Yes,
Sarah?
No.
Maria?
Yes.
Rosemary? No. Gina?
No.
Maddie? No. And Frank Weber?
Yes.
Roll call, Dave, please.
Rocco?
Yes.
Dr. George?
yes,
Sarah?
Yes.
Maria?
Yes.
Rosemary? Yes. Gina?
Yes.
Maddie? Yes. And Frank Weber?
Yes, Dave said it, yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Dave is the vice president. Nomination for,
Nomination for secretary.
yes.
Do we have any nominations for secretary?
I'm nominating German George.
Does anyone care to second the nomination of
I can
Rosemary?
second. Oh, sorry.
I'll second.
Yeah.
Second for, you nominated John?
Yes.
Care to second the nomination of John? I'll second. Roll call on Rosemary.
Okay, Rocco?
I'm sorry, say again?
This is for Rosemary.
Rosemary? Yes.
Dr. George?
yes,
Sarah?
Yes.
Maria?
Yes.
Rosemary?
Yes.
Gina?
Yes.
Maddie? Yes. And Frank Weber?
Yes.
No need to do roll call on the other nominations. Once we vote on Rosemary and so.
Okay, do we have a nomination for treasurer?
Frank Weber for treasurer.
No.
No,
not interested.
You're declining?
Yes.
I'll nominate Maria.
Second.
Any other nominations? Roll call on Rick.
Rocco?
Yes.
Dr. George?
yes,
Sarah?
Yes.
Maria?
I'm sorry, my phone cut out. I didn't hear what this is for.
This is for you, Maria.
You've been nominated
Oh,
for treasurer.
okay, yes. Sorry.
Yes.
Gina?
Yes.
Maddie? Yes. And Frank Weber?
Yes.
Congratulations, Maria.
Thank you.
So now we go into executive session.
Yeah, we do exec session for personnel.
Okay.
I make
Okay,
a motion
make
to
a
go
motion.
into executive session.
I'll second.
and I'm pausing the recording.
Yeah. Okay. So can we have an approval of the regular meeting minutes from the meeting on December 18th together?
Yes.
And an approval of the executive meeting minutes from December 18th. Do you have a motion? Okay, second.
I wasn't here.
Frank,
were you here
last week? Last month?
It was on the phone.
Do you want a second?
Okay.
Just as a point of order, anybody who is here, including Gina, if you've had the chance, if you have seen the minutes and you have no reason to believe that they are inaccurate, you're perfectly eligible to vote to
I did
approve.
not know that.
So.
I thought we had
feel
to
free
abstain.
Yeah, I thought I don't have to
You
be the
have to. You can abstain.
Okay.
You don't need to tell us what.
Rocco?
Yes.
Okay. Maddie?
Yes.
Gina?
Yes.
Frank?
Yes,
I will be a yes. Sarah?
Yes.
Maria?
Yes.
Dr. George?
Abstain.
Okay.
we're gonna have to teach her Braille to get a new microphone.
No, she heard that.
Neither.
She heard
I don't think
We
she's
just
really
signed
talking
that.
about, yeah.
What's on the one side.
I'll give you the details on where we're at when we get to the directorship work with that situation. Okay. Okay, so can we have a motion to approve the revised personnel manual?
I'll make the motion.
I'll
Anyone?
second.
Okay.
Maddie?
Yes.
Gina?
I don't even know.
Abstain. Okay, Frank?
Yes,
I am a yes. Sarah?
Yes.
Maria?
No.
Dr. George?
Abstain.
Thank you.
Okay. And then I can go to B, right?
Only 6 votes.
I did not get to vote.
Oh my God,
Sorry,
Rocco, because
Rocco.
I started after you. Sorry.
And I made the motion. Yes.
Yes. Okay, sorry about that.
Down on 27 votes.
You got Rocco is a yes, Maddie's a yes, Gina abstains, Frank is a yes, I am a yes, Sarah is a yes, Maria is no, Dr. George abstains.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. I go to the next one.
It'd be less.
All right, can we have a motion to accept the resignation of staff librarian Lauren Barone?
so moved,
I'm sorry.
so moved.
I second.
Frank
Okay.
moved it, Maddie seconded it, Gina? Frank,
Yes,
I am a yes, Sarah,
Yes.
Maria,
Yes.
Dr. George?
No vote.
I'm sorry, what did she say?
No vote.
No vote. Abstain. Rocco,
Yes.
Maddie,
Yes.
thank you.
Okay, personnel item C, approval of the 2025 individual employment contract for Linda Reynolds, retro to January 1, 2025, with the revised base salary of $62,835 plus stipend for total compensation of $69,835.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second it.
Second, okay. Frank,
yes,
I am a yes. Sarah?
Yes.
Maria?
Yes.
Dr. George?
Yes.
Rocco?
Yes.
Maddie?
Yes.
Gina? Yes. Thank you.
Thank you.
And item D, approval of the 2025 individual employment contract for Irene Mag, retro to January 1, 2025, with the annual base salary of $60,000.
I'll make the motion.
Sarah made the motion.
I'll second.
Maddie second. I am a yes. Sarah?
Yes, sorry.
It's okay. Maria?
Yes.
Dr. George?
Yes.
Rocco?
Yes.
Maddie?
Yes.
Gina?
Yes.
Frank?
yes,
Thank you.
Dawn and Linda, I will have the contracts to you both tomorrow, and I'll send them to Sarah as well. And we're done.
Yay.
We're up and running for 2025.
All right, moving on to finance. We need a motion to action on the January 8th bill listing in the amount of $342,808. And I have a motion.
I'll make the motion.
We have comment, sorry.
Oh.
Yeah, so the bills have not been reviewed by any of the board members. The treasurer was unable to do so. So they've not been reviewed and checks have not been signed.
Okay.
So,
You can have Irene bring them to me tomorrow. I'm available. I'm back home.
oh, okay. We
I
also,
can,
yeah, we're gonna have
I can
Sarah,
sign
to sign off on, as a signator.
Yep.
Also, so, I am gonna be out tomorrow, so what I'll do is we will discuss it tonight.
Yep.
And we'll either have Irene do that, or we'll get, because we need to get, your signature card done anyway.
anyway, okay.
Yeah.
Still need to move.
Oh, so I'll make the motion?
I can second it,
Yes. Okay, Sarah,
yes.
Maria,
No.
Dr. George,
abstain,
Rocco,
Yes.
Maddie.
Have we postponed even?
No, it's
No.
just procedural.
It's
No.
once the questions are
Okay.
answered, yeah.
Yes.
Gina,
Abstain.
Frank.
Abstain.
Okay, thank you.
So we have 4 yeses, correct?
1,
Rocco,
2,
did you vote?
I voted yes.
1, 2. Yes, because I didn't say me. Yes, I forgot me.
Yes.
1, 2, 3, 4, yes.
It moves.
Okay.
That's 4. That's
No, it's 4, the 4.
Yeah, you're fine.
Abstentions go with the,
Okay.
Okay, now moving to old business.
May I ask that we do the director's report first? I wasn't sure, I'm texting the vendor now so that he can do his quick presentation. And, so just as a reminder to everyone, last month we heard from 2 different vendors. There's nothing to vote on with making a plan for the renovation. It's just, does the board agree that it's a good use of my time to which of the vendors looks most reasonable? Any designer can design to a budget, so it's not comparing price, it's deciding who you wanna go with. So we had last month, JP, we had Soika Smith, and then this month, we should be having soon, CLC is Creative Library Concepts. They are one of the leading library renovation groups in the state, and so this isn't for a vote, it's really just so that you all can say, yes, we like this group, and then I'll get to work with preparing 3 different, levels for them. Okay, all right, he's coming in a moment. Dr. George, I apologize that this solution has not worked. When I told our IT manager that we needed to do something better with the microphone, we got new cameras. I don't know if anyone can see, our image is much clearer.
Yeah.
And when they were testing the camera, a group of our staff came in and they said that the microphone that's on this camera worked better than the microphone that we were using. I'm just gonna let Brad in. They said that the microphone was better. So tonight is the test of that. If this is still not doing what we need it to, then we come up with another solution.
I have a suggestion, why doesn't she watch it but call in on her phone?
Yeah,
So
that's
she
what I
can
was gonna
hear it better, she can keep it on speaker next to her.
and the phone can be.
Right,
passed
And then
yeah.
she can watch and we can hear
can't
you.
talk, I'm at a meeting,
Brad will be ready in a minute.
by telephone. The problem is, and maybe Maria could join in, if I'm the only one that doesn't hear it, well, then that's my problem. But the reason why I didn't vote on some things, because I don't know what you're saying. Now, if we have a motion and Chris reads it, I can hear him. I'm sorry, beyond Chris, ladies, I don't hear it. So if I don't hear the motion, I'm just going to abstain or pass.
Turn the volume off
We
of
can
her
call her now.
computer.
I have her
Oh,
phone
yeah,
number.
we can call her
Yeah,
and she can listen that way. Try that.
yeah,
We can't
Dr.
hear
George,
her.
somebody's gonna call you
Yeah, I'll give you the number because my battery is low.
and I'll call you. I don't have your number.
She'll need to turn her
But she has to turn her
volume
volume
off,
up on
though,
the
or she'll
computer.
get
Yeah.
feedback.
All right,
There
but
you go.
what, so am I calling her?
Call her cell phone, so she can put it on speaker.
I
Or
don't,
home phone, whatever she wants.
See if she wants.
That's up to her.
yeah, I don't think that's something we want to announce on the recording,
We don't-
someone's phone number.
I can write it down. No, you're not saying
If you
it.
do it in
He's gonna
Roman
send it to you.
numerals, it'll be
Oh,
okay.
you're gonna send it to me.
Yeah, go text.
Okay.
He'll text it
No,
to you.
I'm gonna write it
All
on
right.
a piece
I'll
of
try to
paper.
find
it.
Okay, he's gonna write it on a piece of paper.
Dr. George, someone is
What are
going
you
to
dealing with?
text me your phone number. I am going to call you on my cell phone. And then we're gonna put you on speakerphone and hope that that works better. Does that sound like an option?
It sounds like a plan. We'll see what happens.
Does she have her cell phone
She
next to
should,
her?
she should mute her.
Yeah, she has to mute her TV, her computer.
Audio.
The vote, the volume.
Yeah, once we call you, then we need you to mute your computer.
Okay.
Once we have that.
What do you need, my phone number?
No, no,
No,
no,
no,
No, we're not
say
gonna
it.
say it on
Frank's
the
on.
recording.
Who's listening?
Yeah. Frank's gonna pass it over to me.
I was gonna do it in Roman numerals.
That's
but
easy.
I
Much
didn't.
easier.
So, no.
All right. I'm going in. All right, and I'm putting you on speaker.
Hello.
All right, and then we'll see if this works
She
better.
has to turn her volume off.
And you have to turn your volume off on Zoom.
Somebody is talking to me on the telephone.
You,
That's us.
Oh, that's, okay, that was you. All right, I mute you by what, knocking off the microphone.
yes.
She's
She's doing it.
A little bit more.
No, you need to mute more. Yeah, I don't think it's gonna work. She is muted.
She is muted?
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know why it's doing
Why is it
Oh,
doing
you know
that?
what?
I've never
Might be
seen
like-
that.
might try to call.
No,
Have a
it's not gonna work.
call. Try and call us.
Maybe if I put it here, it won't do that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's saying let her call us.
It's not-
Oh, you're saying, the mic is
Yeah.
picking up
It's
that.
probably
But
the
mic.
if we don't
Oh.
try.
Yeah.
no,
What if you put it
Back
under
to
the
the mic.
table? Or the
Should we move it over here? Farther away?
I don't know, but I'm about to have a seizure.
All right.
Actually, you can hear, you can hear us call.
John, hang up and dial us.
Yeah,
Worst
it's,
can happen is it doesn't work.
I don't think it's
It's not
gonna,
gonna work.
Oh
Is
my
the
goodness.
camera there, Frank?
Why
Is
don't
the-
we try it,
All right, let's
please?
try it,
Okay,
please, let's try it.
Dr. George, can you call me?
Yes.
Yeah, hang up and call this phone. We're gonna try that. You should.
Same number.
Look it up on your phone.
Hi, Brad.
Hello, everyone.
Apologies for this.
No worries.
So I'll give you a little bit of background. When I first started. All right, we are trying again. If I can, there we go. How's that?
I hear you, but I didn't have a problem hearing you before.
Yeah, we had feedback.
That's fine.
It was making a noise. It was making a high pitched whining. But if this is better, then we'll try this.
Put it right in the middle.
You have to try it with the other end of the table, because I could hear you.
Can you hear me now?
How about now?
Hello, Joan, can you hear me? I'm as furthest away. Who are you?
I can hear you better.
Okay.
All right.
All right,
All right,
then
we can
let's,
pass the phone around. if we
Yeah.
need to.
okay. See, isn't it good that we'll agree to
If
pick,
you make a motion before you ask us to vote on it, if Chris or somebody could repeat the motion, I don't always have to hear all of the dialogue, but if I don't even know what the motion is, I
right?
can't vote.
Fair enough.
All right, well, let's see what we can do.
Try it.
Okay.
We have to learn Morse code.
We need a different, we just need a different mic for that then, so it doesn't get double feedback. Maybe back to the old mic.
I'm trying to see if, like, all right, let's just, all right.
The problem I have with listening to this presentation tonight is that I listened to two at the last meeting, and the group of us that were there that night, there weren't a lot of you there, so I don't know what the point is.
You can't hear her though, she's muted.
What's, oh,
Brad can't hear Dr. George right now.
Because she's muted.
She's muted on the Zoom.
oh,
That's not gonna.
okay, and I'm sorry, I can't. We have to hang up because I can't,
We're getting too much feedback.
but I'll address your question.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, Brad will
And
be
then
able to
unmute
hear her.
yourself.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah,
I am
just tell her to
incredibly
unmute herself.
sensitive to sound.
No, that's okay.
Yeah,
She has to.
okay.
But she has to unmute herself.
Unmute yourself, Sean.
I said ask to unmute.
Yeah, but if she's not.
She has to do it.
Turn your volume
No.
back up to hear us.
Oh, there we go. Okay, so Dr. George, to answer your question, while some people had objections to doing this at the meeting, others did not. And because we had agreed to move forward with the first two, and I've been asked to bring in 3 potential vendors, the only point of this is not for a vote. It's just for the board to say which vendor I can move forward with to develop a proposal. We're going to develop proposals and those are gonna come to the board. So there's no agreement to anything, but we can't go ahead and create 3 full-blown proposals with 3 different contractors. We're gonna pick who we're comfortable with. This is the last one. And then, like I said, then I'll go ahead with the proposal and coming up with different options, different prices for the board to consider. But it's just to get the process started. And I was asked, I believe by Frank, to have 3 different vendors in. So just so everyone knows,
Alright, cool. That was me,
yes,
I don't recall.
you told me that there were a number of library renovation companies around the
Yeah,
state
Correct.
and all that, and that you wanted to hear from at least 3.
Yeah.
So that's what I did. JP, Soika Smith, and CLC. But what I just wanted to preface with a couple of things. So Brad, we're making sure that these are very brief, that we're not spending more than 10 minutes. The board will be able to ask you questions. Brad and CLC were the first group that I contacted because I've seen their work at other libraries. I know that they do a broad range of projects for a broad range of budgets. We discussed that we're not a Milburn where we're gonna be putting something, you know, extremely expensive up, but that we wanted to take a look at this. So with your permission, Brad, you can take over.
Sure. Did you want me to just talk, Dawn, or did you want me to share the presentation?
It's
That
up
would-
to you. It's what you wanna do for the board.
Mhm. Okay, well, I'll just start off by chatting and then I can jump into it quickly. But first of all, thank you all of you for your time and for consideration. And you're absolutely right. There's certainly plenty of companies out there that can provide library furniture and shelving. And I'll just talk within this 10 minutes and certainly answer any questions you have about what makes us unique and why I think you should consider us for the project. So actually, I will go ahead and jump in and share the presentation.
And while you're doing that, Brad, I just wanna mention that when I called them just to introduce us, they came in, they created drawings for us, we don't have them, so they really jumped in strongly, yeah.
But we were also, yes, I'm right down the road in Manalapan. Jody, our operations manager, is actually an Old Bridge resident and a user of your library. So we were excited to come meet with you. Not that that should be a reason why you pick us, but we're local and, you know, we work on projects all up and down the East Coast. And this is our entire specialty, our library spaces. Can everybody see my screen?
Yes.
Jared, okay, so I'll go through this really quickly. It just tells you a little bit about us. We specialize in library furniture and shelving. We have 20 different furniture lines that are on the ESCNJ contract, which means you could purchase these items without going out to bid. We have salespeople, designers, project managers, installers. Dawn has met a bunch of them, has had the staff as part of the process. So when we come in as part of the process and these are just a few examples of our work that shows Paramus and Millburn, but we do projects at every budget point. This Millburn desk had a solid surface top to it. We quoted your desk, I believe, not with a solid surface top, with a laminate top. And those are the types of things that could take the price way up or way down on these items. And then this is just a list of some of the libraries that we've worked with. And I think Dawn had shared this as part of the board packet that went out. But this is just a grouping of clients that we're working with or we've worked with just in the past few years. So this is our whole business. We like doing a lot of work up front, even at no cost, no obligation, just to kind of show you what it would be like to work with us. So we came in and interviewed Dawn and staff about your circulation desk to understand what the requirements were in terms of how many staff members needed to be at the desk, what type of storage there would need to be, what it needs to look like aesthetically, should there be an ADA unit. And we actually did develop these renderings for you just to kind of show, and this was just a proposal. This is not saying this is the final design, but just to show you what it would be like working with us on a project. You're never going to get a drawing or design for us where you don't understand what it is you would actually be getting. So this was a rendering we had done for the circulation desk with a book return and an ADA drop unit, and just showing it from different angles. We also talked about your idea farm and some furniture. This was also what we had talked about for phase one, and just doing some renderings of what the space could look like with different types of furniture, different types of storage. And obviously we would work with you to pick colors and finishes. These were just placeholders. These are some really neat tables that we're using a lot in these makerspace idea farm type spaces where it could be a work table, but you could put robotic bumpers up and you could have robot battles on it, or you could turn it into a ping pong table.
Don't forget the ping pong.
I did not mention that for you, Dawn. I remember you. There's a ping pong accessory. So we do these a lot in maker spaces and gaming spaces, and there's a lot of storage built into them. And obviously we had some cabinetry and then mobile storage built into it. And then the last area that we had just quickly rendered was a staff break room. So we started talking to Dawn about 3 areas, but the idea, we do a lot of projects in phases where we will actually, we had talked about your library and the different bays you have, and phase 1 being circulation desk and idea farm. But we do work with a lot of the libraries that we have worked with. We do things in phases, but we're able to ensure cohesion from phase to phase. So at the end of however many phases it is, that would kind of be, and I'll stop my share quickly. Well, I can quickly show you. We had put a budget together of $125,000. And again, this was just ballpark based off doing these 3 projects, including delivery and installation. But we have, again, with our 20 manufacturers that we work with, we have products at all different price points, as with the other vendors that you would work with too, right? We're dealers, so we all have different types of products at different price points. But, that was what we thought doing a nice job for that phase and that scope of work would be. And again, we're happy for you to visit or speak with any of the libraries that we worked with. You have the list. Dawn has the list. And so that's running through that really quickly. And if you have any questions, we can go through those.
I do. From a functionality standpoint, the circulation desk, is it, if you can give me a percentage, is there going to be a big change in the practicality of what comes in versus how it operates now?
It's similar to how it operates now, I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, Dawn, but we tried to stick with the similar footprint, what works well. It's a big library and there's a lot that you need to do at that desk too. So generally speaking, the trend for libraries and circulation desks is they're getting smaller, but you have a very unique situation. You have as large a public library building, as any public library I could think of that I've stepped into in New Jersey. I mean, it's enormous and it has so much potential. So having a big anchor desk, you have a lot of different things going on in that library, both from a collections and a programmatic perspective. So there's a lot that needs to go on there. And if I share our my screen again, I'll pull that back up, and you could see, part of our process is, and that we talked on with Dawn, is actually going through and seeing, you have multiple cash registers at your desk. You have, I can't remember, you have a lot of hold shelves here, right? Because you have a lot of patrons putting items on reserves. You need a lot of storage back behind there. We could always explore a model. We don't want staff being approached from either end on the desk, so you want it closed off on each end. So it is very large, but there was a lot that you were planning to do within it based off the program that we were talking about. And then the records desk we were talking about. I'm sorry, go ahead, Dawn.
I just want to add the biggest change with this, with our redesign is going to be, there's two. Right now, the desks are low, so you can see all the wires and mess and everything, and it's going to be higher, so it's going to look cleaner. And then on top of that, you have the ADA section of the desk. Right now, for our patrons who are wheelchair bound and things like that, they don't have the access that other people do. So in anything that we do moving forward, we want to increase access for our patrons with special needs and our parents, and this is with our self-check and all of that. And then the other part of this, I understand what you're saying, we're not changing the function that much. The finish is worn off the desk. So for me, having finish that's flaking off into the air and all of that is not exactly ideal.
Well, the discoloration, since you're talking about.
It's not discoloration.
No. I'm trying to identify the part. The side panels seem okay. The edge, the curved edge is the one where there's a variety of stuff going on.
It's where people use it the most.
It's not.
The polyurethane is coming off.
Brad, I have a question for you. You made mention that the amount that you quoted, obviously it's an estimate. You mentioned laminate. What are you using currently at other libraries for tops? Because I'm not a fan of the laminate.
I would say, yeah. I mean, first of all, whenever you do laminate, you're always going to want laminate with a, in fact, I'm going to jump quickly to our website and I'll show you just what we're talking about with this. So for many, many years, what we did, first of all, everybody's seen kitchen counters laminates that have laminate self-edge that delaminates and the laminate peels off the edge. Nobody other than general contractors who do very, not high quality work will do laminate self-edge. But what we do most often, or what we've done most over the years, what's a good example of it is, well, here's a children's desk, but it's laminate with a hardwood edge, because the edge is what always takes the most beating and abuse. So that's the most cost effective, and what we probably still do with most libraries, right? The new high pressure laminates are extremely high quality. These tops are going to last for 30, 40 years. They're not going to delaminate like the other ones are. I've been in the business now 20 years and I still see some of the desks we've done with laminate tops and hardwood edges, and they hold up great. What some libraries will do, let me close this one, we'll do a quartz, which is this is probably the most expensive, right? To do a stone top. Actually, excuse me, and it's hard to tell sometimes. Or we'll do a Corian or a Wilson Art solid surface. I actually think this was a Corian at Norwood, and that's less expensive than going with a stone top. But that's a solid surface top at Paramus. That was a quartz top. Rivervale, this was a Corian top. There's Wilson Art now has a product called Solid Surface. This was, I believe, quartz. This is what's called a patron ledge. This is what we had designed on part of your desk. As Dawn had mentioned, the current desk is all open, so you see everything on top of it. This patron ledge kind of hides clutter and hides wires of computers and things behind the desk. We also, for design perspective, had designed your desk with this type of rail and style panel look on the front of the desk, but obviously, the front of the desk and the wood finish and the laminate could be whatever you'd like it to be. But we can certainly explore different top materials. It would just be more
Because I was
expensive.
just curious, what's the different square footage price on the laminate versus like a quartz?
For a desk of this size, don't forget, a desk like this, you're not only going to have to put it here, you also have to put it on the patron ledges. You have to do a lot of detail work like we just did at Lyndhurst Library, which looks like So price wise, you know, for a desk of your size, you could spend $15,000 more, you know, if it was like a quartz or a solid surface, you know, maybe half of that if you're doing a Corian or solid surface. I might be guessing high, but we try to guess high and come in lower with our numbers. Try not to shock you, but it adds quite a bit of cost to the stone, you know, when you're doing a lot of it.
So I know that you said you're working in phases, but what do you estimate from start to finish a project like this? How long would it take?
Just this first phase?
Yeah.
Like the circulation desk in the idea farm. So let's say you say go ahead and move forward. You know, we would come meet with Dawn and the team and just fine tune all the details of everything. We would pick the colors and finishes. Once you place the order, they do shop drawings. Then you place the orders, and it's probably, you know, 12 to 14 weeks in production plus 4 weeks in shop drawings. It's not super quick because certain things come quick, like the tables and furniture for the idea farm. That could happen in like 8 to 10 weeks, but the circulation desk, it's made to order. So it takes them a few months to build it plus shop drawing. So it's about 4 months, I would say, overall for the circulation desk. But again, that's what makes the shop drawings and them building it to order is what you buy this once and it's here for the next 50 years, as long as the current desk has been there. So
just out of curiosity, one of the things, because I also like to renovate homes, and one of my favorite things to do in kitchens is actually to do a laminate, because for the cost of a quartz, I can replace laminate 4 or 5 times. Do they make the desks so that you can have new laminates made?
Absolutely. That's one of the advantages. So that's one advantage. So a lot of the times when new buildings are being built, if an architect specifies a circulation desk and it's built by a mill worker, they're often fabricating it on site and it's just built as a piece of furniture for that application. When you buy a library circulation desk from one of these manufacturers, they're built as modules that get bolted together, and then they have continuous tops put on top of them. So you can absolutely replace just the top of the desk. Not only that, they're modules, so you can reconfigure that desk in the future too. If you don't like that desk being so enormous, you could break up those parts into separate desks and just get new end panels. So there's a big advantage to be buying a circulation desk versus buying a piece of custom millwork too.
That's why I like doing the laminates, because they're not as high end, but you can redesign much less expensively every couple of years. So just a thought.
Yeah, no, it's a great question. So you could replace all of the tops if you needed to in the future.
Any other questions?
How much would that cost if we say 5 years, 6 years, 10 years?
Yeah, if we wanted to do another laminate 5 years.
Another laminate top, I mean, just for the desk, and it would be, you know, a few $1,000s maybe, 4,000 or 5,000, depending on, you know, the size, something like that. I'm trying to think about like it would almost just be like shelving countertops for low shelving, and you'd have 3 or 4 big ones, you know, plus the labor to do that. So
what's the life expectancy of the proposed one?
the life, how long the quote that we gave you?
No, how long the circulation desk would be expected to last?
I mean, many, many decades. This is furniture that's built to last 30, 40, 50 years, I would say.
Yeah.
And do you have any correlation to circulation at the library compared to other libraries?
Circulation?
Yeah.
Right, I'm saying he wouldn't
much-
have that yet.
No, I'm not saying that. We can find that out. That's easy enough to get off the state. I'm saying to find out. So is a baseline. This, what's set up now, opened in 91, I believe, so it's 34 years. So the question is, we have a circulation of X, and somebody with a comfortable one, if they had twice as much or half as much, is there a significant difference other than one where people want to do?
I'm sorry, I was just having a little trouble hearing you. I couldn't hear what you were saying. What was the question?
Yeah, my voice is not as strong as it used to be.
No worries.
And I can yell. For example, if a library does twice the volume that we do, is their life expectancy of the serviceable use of that desk impacted?
Not really. No, I don't think so. Certainly not with the materials that you're having. Like I think listen, obviously, the more people using and hitting any piece of furniture, the more abuse it's going to take over time, right? But if you do a good kick, and we talk about what the kick of the desk should be, whether it's a black rubber toe kick or a hardwood kick, that's what takes the abuse, right? The front of the desk is going to be a wood veneer desk. That's not going to get beat up and last over time. So, I mean, we put some wood veneer circuit, which is what this is, circulation desks into extremely high traffic volume libraries in New York City, Hunter College, New York Public Library, Brooklyn Public Library. I mean, these things take a beating, but if you buy quality product and it's hardwood and it's got hardwood edges to it, this desk will last you as long as you need it to.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, Ben, thanks so much, and I'll be in touch.
Okay. It's nice meeting you all.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
any other comments or with move on? Okay.
Were there any questions about the director's report from this month? Can you pass me one of those down? I realize I should have done this last year, but this is the state manual for library trustees. Anybody else who wants one, we printed out a copy for everyone so that you can have it here. And anybody who doesn't have a library card, I have the registration forms here so that you can fill them out, give them to me, and just remember, if you're a person who's doing e-resources, you're gonna find access to all of that here as well. So I do have those available just for when people have questions. Yep, and I didn't give you one last year, I'm so sorry.
I'll take one now.
And I know,
I'll have one too.
Yeah.
Pass it along.
and I know,
It's like your Bible.
No,
thank you.
I haven't committed to my brain yet.
Ro, I know that you went to the trustee training.
Yes.
Thank you very
Yeah,
much.
we all of you a Saturday.
Roll me a Saturday, a 7-hour Saturday.
So a
It was
lot of
good.
that's gonna be pretty fresh from you, and I really appreciate you doing it. I know that those trainings are exhilarating.
They are.
I just
did one for Shade Tree Commission.
Did you?
Oh, so much fun.
The only problem is if I went to something like that now, I'd have to bring my seat back.
Yeah. Okay, the additional items, one, Maria, this is gonna be of a special interest for you. We have gotten a message from our current bank that issued our P card, which is our purchasing card. Most libraries can't function anymore without having some form of a credit card, nor can any public agency. But the bank that issued it is not fulfilling the agreement up until 2028, as was anticipated. It is ending at the end of January 2025.
Oh my gosh.
So we've only got a couple of weeks, and we have a number of services that are dependent on the card. So we will be prioritizing a resolution for that, but Maria, you may be hearing from us as we go and revisit that process. I wanted to
Okay.
give everyone, what's that?
I said, okay.
Okay, I wanted to give everyone an update, our school book kit project. We have class sets for 4 grades completed, that's 8 sets of books. We all can't forget this, I think it's like 1, 4, 7, and 8. So I'm really excited for like the first graders to get that set of books. So those, the bags are in, everything's ready. The problem is that the books take a long time to come in. and when we're ordering them through the book retailers, especially at the end of the year when everybody's trying to spend their money. And so we're getting them all out as quickly as we can, but I think it's nice to start with the 4 grades so we can get used to how we're doing things.
What's the, because I wasn't here when I saw the bag, what is the overall cost so far?
So we had voted on that project for $10,000 for the bags and the books.
And how much of that?
I have to go in and take a look and make sure that we don't need more bags. I don't think that we've gone over at all for that cost. But I'll have to go in and I don't have that at my fingertips, but I'll make sure I have it for next month.
And how do the bags won't be streaming rooms or whatever the case may be?
That is the
That's gonna be
school's,
the business of myself and the elementary English
Do you have
supervisor.
little carts that they can pull around, since you're gonna have the kids do it? or-
Yeah, it's really gonna be on a building by building basis.
Have my daughter do it.
And we're gonna have a lot of discussions.
Volunteer.
Yeah, we're having discussions on it right now. It was actually presented, that's the reason why I wasn't here last month, because last month's meeting was the same day as the curriculum committee meeting for the Board of Ed, where I presented all of this information to the Board of Ed, and the committee was very excited. Looking forward to see it. They had some questions about titles, obviously, making sure everything is age appropriate. But I showed them all the titles, everyone seems comfortable, so we're looking to get rolling, but it's really gonna be a school by school situation, working with the principals in the building.
and I'm gonna make sure that I give you all a report on how it worked. Because I don't, will we do it again? This is an experiment. And we'll see at the end of the year how it goes. So that, and then the other project we're gonna be working on is gonna be the class visits with students coming here and librarians going into the schools. Right now, we have one school, and I do just wanna point them out, it's the Grissom School. The entire school is having visits to the library. So we're doing that this year, but next year I'm hoping we've got grade levels picked out that are gonna be
And
just.
we're actually looking to do something within the next month or two with the middle schools, trying to get all the grades in here. It's a little bit more of a larger task since they are much larger schools than Grissom. But we're working on logistics right now, and hopefully we can figure that out. And if not, we'll have something in place for next year at least.
And the other thing,
152 capacity.
and the other thing that we're working on is an assignment alert, because that's free and it's easy. That just goes on the website. Teachers can go on and say, 4th graders have to read a biography in February. And this way we know what's going on and we get the communications out. Those collaborations,
Amazing.
Yeah, and it's just starting out. We have a couple of other ideas that we're going to get to eventually.
yes, lots of things to do.
Awesome.
Once you're a school librarian, it never gets out of your system. It really doesn't. Okay, we have upcoming, the site visit to our passport department is coming up. And all of our passport agents have been recertified. In the past, we've paid for some of the digitization for the museum. I just want you all to know that I'm gonna be putting forth a proposal for our digitization. I just went into the administrative area and I found about 10 books of newspaper clippings that are all rapidly aging. It's all history of the library. So I think before we do anything more with the museum, we need to have the library's history digitized, so that'll be coming up. Our museum pass program, unfortunately, I moved us to a museum pass administrative software that went out of business unceremoniously, and they just said, sorry, and you're not getting your money back. So we've now gone back to Museum Key. Unfortunately, the consortium is getting a discount a month from now. We can't wait a month, and it's $50 difference. So we're moving forward with Museum Key, but that has been done. So that was down and it's back up. Next month, I'm very excited. I'm gonna be attending a meeting remotely that is about climate adaptation in libraries. And what it very specifically addresses is libraries and their outdoor spaces and their green spaces, and our green space needs help. So I'm very excited that
We
we'll.
have the tree
We're
arborist
waiting for you.
secretary right here.
Yeah.
She's
We're
the
always-
chair,
we're
this
always
is
looking
Minnie,
for
Gary
stuff.
Lavallo, I
Yeah.
told you last year.
We had a 20-foot spruce that was out there in the middle of that garden, and it was not gonna be a good future for that, so
We can take care of it.
we'll talk,
Yes.
okay. We have had a significant increase in patron communication, and that was simply by moving our comment form on the website. So we're really seeing how once we get to a professional, like, I think everybody can see what we've done to improve the website was great, but now it's time for professionals to come in.
Yes.
And we are literally getting 2 and 3 comments a week from that form, whereas before, we'd see maybe 1 every 2 weeks, so we're getting
That's great.
more. And our coordinator of strategy and communication is going to start getting a proposal together for us to have basically a marketing and graphic design consultant. This is putting into place the program where I didn't want to hire a full-time marketing person. I don't think we need it. We can have a consultant that we use for specific campaigns throughout the year. As an example, our concert series doesn't have a strong identity within the community. So when we plan our projects for the year, we can look at how we're gonna brand the concert series specifically to make sure that we really have a targeted impact with our advertising.
I have a
Money.
freelancer I work with all the time if you want their information.
Absolutely, send them along. We're gonna take a look at them and then we'll have some proposals. And, as an example, in Wyoming, we had a graphic designer, and every summer, every summer they would make stickers for the community. This community collected them and was really excited for summer reading. So those are just some examples of what we can
I
do.
think it's smart.
Yeah, so we're gonna start getting that ready, and that kind of goes along with, we're gonna wait about a month or 2, and then I'm gonna be asking that we start to look at the website redesign, the professional one, where we're gonna have focus groups and people in from the community so that we can really start to take a look at how to improve the site and maximize it. As a reminder, I will be away, leaving on the night of the 15th, and I'm returning on the 22nd, and I will be out of the country. So, one of the things that I had asked in the past, and the board had rejected, but I'm gonna ask one more time, if there was a possibility for a stipend for one of the managers to stand in, only because, and Dr. George, last time you had said if they just do their jobs, it'll be taken care of, but there is a question in the winter of whether there's a weather closing. We've had other emergencies, and like I said, I just wanted to ask one more time. And then board president, basically your cell number would be given to all the supervisors so that they have it, so that they can call you if there's an emergency or something urgent.
One question, do you say anywhere when you show me the entertainment group's gonna come in? If that group has something on YouTube, spoken to that risk, because I've done that a few times, it works out well.
If who has something on YouTube?
Let's say a band comes in.
Yes.
It's some major bands, so I don't know much about it. And I've looked them up just on YouTube. And a good feel for whether you like it or you don't like it.
Yeah, so there's a couple of things there. One is, so you're talking about linking to that so that people can see whether they like the band before they come in?
Or even asking the group themselves where their YouTubes are, that they think is representative.
Yeah, one of the things that I'm hoping for is that we're gonna start steering people away from YouTube in the coming year because there's a privacy issue with that, but some of these bands do have websites and things like that that they do on their own. And we can certainly do that, getting more information, getting more information about the performers, and that's just one program that I'm hoping that we can really boost. Okay.
Cultural arts right there. We have a lot of people around this table.
Okay, I just wanna make sure that I'm not forgetting anything. I'm working on budget and getting all of our departments to be budget minded. I don't think they've done that in the last years, where departments themselves are submitting their requests and getting our supervisors to take responsibility for the direction of our programming. The last thing that I have to mention for the board is, for this coming year, we don't currently have a strategic plan. And that is something that's going to impact us with the state and with our state funding, which is about 30 or 40,000 at this point. What's that?
It's about 30,000.
And it's increased because we're getting an increase this year. So that's something that we, will need to be prepared. We have a draft. If you want to look at it, I can get that out to people so that they can see it. And it was all done before I was here, but there are a number of things that we can't do unless we have a current strategic plan.
We should have one.
Yeah,
Regardless of
absolutely.
anything, it's necessary to have one, so does that come from us? Yes.
Yeah, typically, I mean, a lot of libraries hire someone to come in and do the strategic plan for them.
Right.
Yeah, you can, or you can do it on your own. I don't find them that complicated, but.
We have to do like a community plan for Shade Tree. What we do, believe it or not, is we look at other towns, like Mattawan has a shade tree, but not like ours. And so what we do is we look at other towns and we pull from that.
I see zero problem with that. I mean, there's really a limit to the number of goals that libraries are going to have.
Yeah.
And I find that the language is typically pretty common. I think where the teeth of strategic planning comes in is then every year, what are you doing to accomplish those goals, and making sure that every year you're switching up and you're analyzing what you did to get to those goals.
I would like to make a recommendation. Perhaps we can, at one of the meetings, take a tour, all of us, and be told what's going on in each department, to give us a visualization as to what's going on here, so we see it and we understand, and it'll help us to develop that strategic plan, knowing what resources we have here and knowing what maybe we want to bring on. And I have to say, there is a wealth of resources here, because I do a lot of work here with the kids sometimes, and when I opened up those rooms and saw what you have in there, it's amazing. So I would like to do that, all of us together, because I think that will be a really great way for all of us to see exactly what's the inner makings of the facility.
Yeah. I think we're gonna have a really great year with that and the communication and more of our statistics as I'm getting the data cleaned up and ready for everyone, so that we can really manage by numbers. And our staff, I mean, right now we're purchasing books, but no one knows what's the highest circulating section of the library. And literally, I just got everyone access to that part of our new software today. So, we're leaps and bounds, but we've got a long way to go.
That's what the whole board has to approve.
Yeah.
One of the things that, I know we have roughly 26,000 or so registered people. How many of those are out of it, they moved out of town, they died? And I think that if we can sort to have people who still have active cards, or even if they don't, find out from voting rolls how old they are, and see if they still live in the town. And send something for people who are disabled or can't get to books. Just get some, and work directly with the senior community. What do they want to hear? They want to hear any big records or whatever.
Yeah, and those are gonna be our focus groups as we look more specifically at different populations. What are we doing for our seniors? What are we doing for our people with special needs? You know, what is our, you know, ADA compliance on the website with visual, that's all changed. So we're gonna be doing a lot of that stuff in the coming year, and we do purge the circulation records. I will say that in my recommendations for the year, I've started telling staff that I'm not pleased with the number of cards that we have compared to our population. And that's what I really wanna focus on in the coming year, is increasing the percentage of library users amongst residents. And a lot of that's because we haven't done the promotion. We just got our newsletter back. We hadn't had one in 3 years. So, you know, we're getting it done.
Why don't you send the strategic plan over? I can at least start to look at it.
Okay, I will definitely take a look and make sure that everybody gets
I'd
it.
like
Yeah.
to-
I'll send
Maybe
it
Rob
to
or
everyone
I,
just so you have it.
Three of us maybe can
Okay.
start
Yeah,
at
okay.
least, and then.
You can do like the next time you have an event, you know, we can promote, for people to come in and get library cards and at the same time
Yeah.
simultaneously try to get people that way.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
And
so-
yeah, I wanna make sure that we get cards for all of the town employees. That's something that we haven't done yet.
To do.
Handing these out and
Quick
then we can
wins.
take them back. And once we, you know, we get the town, we can be our best advocates.
That's right. So I did see the video. I caught it on TV, so it was great to be flipping my channels and see that.
Yeah.
And I think it's wonderful. I think everybody did such a wonderful job in representing it. And I think something that we may want to look into going forward is monthly little excerpts, because Jacob will do it. Jacob and Amy would be more than happy
Yeah,
to come in, and you could just highlight whatever activities you have coming up for the upcoming year and for the upcoming month. And then they could advertise it on in between, like the council meeting and the board meetings and whatnot. People do see it and people
Yeah.
do watch it.
absolutely.
You have that, and then you have Roll Around Overage, and if I'm not mistaken, you do have an article in there, in Roll Around Overage, a monthly
do.
article. One of the recommendations I would like to make also, it's really important, I think, for employees to get recognition as to what they're doing, what special projects they're working on. Maybe at every article, you can kind of highlight something, so it's another way of showing what's coming in the next month and what the employee is that's doing it. Employees like that, because it shows that they're part of something special. So those are two kind of ways, if they're
Yeah,
comfortable with it.
the
Yeah,
only
some may
reason
not
I've
be.
stayed a little bit away from that is because some employees want to, and then some employees want anonymity.
Okay.
As
And
much
that's
as they can,
respectful,
they
right?
can't have it because they're
Sure.
public workers,
Right.
but
And you
absolutely.
can respect that too, but
Yeah.
it's just another way, they
Yeah.
have a great reach in our community, because they deliver it in each mailbox. So I'm a big advocate for All Around
Yeah,
Overage. It's
Absolutely.
all
Me too,
hyper
yeah.
news, it's good stuff, nothing bad, nothing negative,
Yeah.
so.
And
yeah,
and
it's a
I
draw.
And
I
it's an
like
easy read.
featuring the users. So, and right now in our newsletter, we have Patron of the Month, but I think it would be nice to feature some of them in All Around Overage, because our users like to see themselves.
Right.
Did you see my article and, you know, from the library? To
You
get
also
people-
have cultural arts where they're doing the exhibits, so you have
Is that
patrons,
something
you have
to-
residents that are putting up your exhibits. That's another wonderful piece to highlight, because it's also another way for residents who do artwork and sculptures or whatever it is that would like to do a display, they can reach out to Evelyn, who's still doing it, right? At the township. And another person you can bring that to is Silver Linings. They're members there. They have over 150 members.
Yeah.
So that's also another great reach to hand out library books.
Oh,
Yeah.
definitely.
And
Just walk
everybody,
over there.
everybody on staff knows, I've been cheering everybody on, but I also have to set goals,
Sure.
and we will hit them.
No doubt.
So, yep, that's all I've got.
So she brought up the point of paying a stipend for an employee while she's
Yeah,
away.
yeah.
Are we discussing that
Yeah.
or
Do we?
how does that, what do we do with that?
Yeah, you could,
We put a motion?
yes, you could make a motion, clear mechanism in the supervisor collective bargaining agreement.
Yeah.
Which
Could it have been?
maybe when you
So-
share.
So yeah, so it's
Maybe some, no,
historical
maybe,
kind of
no,
thing
maybe
too.
some of the
We could change the door front.
It was not possible.
No, we're gonna be missing part of the meeting now, so
It's all right.
that's unfortunate.
Hopefully
Yeah,
not so much.
it's unusual for a town with this number of people to essentially have one branch.
Yeah,
yeah.
And
I
the
think we should
bank,
restart those conversations.
Yeah.
and I'll be sitting at the bank branch on Friday. Because they're coming to do the electrical service, which means the heat will be off while they do that. So I will be there and bundled up in a parka writing
Yeah.
evaluations.
And we're getting the battery. there, correct?
What's that?
We're giving you more expensive.
Yes.
Um,
By the way, speaking of the bank, the change in the interest rates last year from 1% to 2.5% has increased almost by $60,000. Thanks to Dr. George pushing.
Yeah, Dr. George, we were just thanking you for the change in interest rates on the account.
Well, you're most welcome. It was what, $60,000, something like that.
Yeah.
I actually think I figured out what the issue was with her. I think she muted her mic, but she didn't turn down her volume on her actual laptop. I think that's what was giving the feedback. Because I saw that she kept having a problem getting back on, but she shouldn't have muted herself there.
Or we can make it a big mass call and just turn the microphone off.
Yeah.
We'll continue working on another solution for next month. I was very hopeful that this was going to be the right
They
solution.
usually, and my
we
corporate
have
office,
ones,
we have in the
yeah,
center,
the
yeah.
ones that are centered.
Center,
Well,
yeah, those are really,
And
yeah, those are great.
we have that one over there, but it's only like this size, but we had it in there. We're gonna have to keep working on it.
Okay, moving on to personnel. I know we talked about Irene and Linda. I am working on your evaluation. It is almost done.
Okay.
I will probably have it to you by, well, you're leaving next Wednesday?
Yes.
I'll have it to you before then.
Okay.
Policy,
Nothing to report.
okay, and technology.
Not less.
I can just let you all know that the RFID installation is not yet scheduled. We're waiting to have our planning meeting when we're really gonna lay everything out. The installation of the library document station, that's happening before I go, when I come back. But that's being put in, and then the RFID is gonna be our big project. And the architect is coming to do a site visit before they deliver plans for us, and then we can start to talk about the bathrooms.
Okay.
Very good.
Question, the doors are not in there, right?
The doors,
Doors and security over there.
no, so the RFID, we've selected that company. We have not yet looked at the equipment, meaning the self-check, the scanning
No,
pads.
I'm talking about the
I'm aware.
security.
All three of those are part of the same thing. You'll use the same company, but getting the RFID done first. As soon as I get that planned, because that's gonna take some time to plan that, soon as I have that meeting, then I'll have proposals on equipment. And we'll be looking at, again, Biblioteca or Envisionware at those two different companies, and you'll be able to evaluate those proposals.
I'm still not, the security doors, whatever it is, 50,000 plus job. When is the installation on that gonna go?
That's not the security doors. That's just the radio frequency identification tags. So they're coming in, and inside every single item that we circulate, they are putting a tag in. That's what we're
I
buying.
understand what that is. I'm talking about the security doors where the doors are gonna be
Talking about the
converted
swipe.
into.
The keyless entry.
Yes,
The keyless entry's been installed.
okay. So there's new doors as well?
They're not new doors, it's just they put the keyless entry system on it. The same as you have in the town.
Okay.
Yeah, that was installed a while ago.
Okay, public comments. No one from the public, okay?
Garrett. Garrett and.
Garrett, any questions? No? Okay, motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion. I'll second it.
Second, all right, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Have a great trip. Enjoy yourself.